After the tragic events of October 7th, Israel and the Jewish communities worldwide barely had time to mourn their losses when we were struck by a wave of anti-Semitism and hate unparalleled in this generation. Not only from the usual suspects of TikTokers and other agents of chaos and rage, but from leaders of institutions who called for seeing the murder and kidnapping of innocent men, women, and children in a context.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
It's a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
For so many of us, the sense of being abandoned, alone, and vulnerable was overwhelming. We needed to unite, to celebrate our oneness. And what better way than by all participating in the writing of a unity Torah, dedicated to the memory of the soldiers of the IDF, the first responders, and the innocent men, women, and children murdered on October 7th simply because they were Jews. Thanks to a generous gift of a Torah by the Lowsky family, it was made possible, and within weeks of the most tragic Israeli disaster in our generation, the Chabad Aleph House was filled with song, dance, and joy. But we did not stop there. The Rebbe's perennial call to push away the darkness by adding light has never been more welcome than this past Hanukkah. Beginning with the first night and the lighting of the giant menorah on Decca Boulevard by members of the Columbia Fire Department and the brilliant faces of the children and families who for a moment could rise from the fear and embrace the joy of community. That same night, the streets of the USC campus were also aglow with the light of freedom, liberty, and Jewish pride. Unlike so many other campuses around the country, USC students don't feel the need to hide their Jewish pride. In fact, that night, they wore it proudly. If it's the fourth night of Hanukkah, then this must be the Botanical Gardens at Riverbank Zoo. And what a night it was, with families in full Hanukkah mode. Can there be a better image than a child living and loving their Jewish heritage? Fifth night, okay, that would be the Car Menorah Parade down Trenham, Gervais, and all the way to the State House, where our largest crowd ever came to stand with Israel. We stood tall as our community leaders encouraged the crowd of over 250 to have courage and clarity in these times of moral confusion. As the menorah was lit by former members of the IDF, our governor reminded us that tonight we are all Jews. So it is that from one of the darkest moments in our nation's history, we rise, brighter, stronger, more united than ever, as we answer the challenge of darkness with ever-growing light. Thank you for your support. Please help us meet our financial goals for 2023 so we can all look forward to an even brighter and more joyful 2024. Shalom and Am Yisrael Chai.